Hello YouTube, this is Boy of Wonders. I had a request from Joshua to do a video about my Templar build. Shout out to you, Joshua, and also thank you for subscribing. You're the man, dude. You are the man. And alright, so I've played, ESO for a while, and I've done veteran dungeons, I've done normal, and I've done some trials in PvP, so I kind of have an idea about the game, but if you guys, anyone else watching, that has any suggestions of my build or how to make it better, feel free to tell me and I'll try it out. Okay, so I have 3 different setups for, depending on what I'm doing with my character. Like, right now I kind of have my PvP setup, but I'll show clips of each 3 later. As far as the skills that I use, Puncturing Sweep, I use the Magicka version because obviously, I'm a Magicka Templar, so I can't use the Stamina version, it won't do as much. It's pretty decent. I use Toppling Charge. Usually I stay at range, but I do use Toppling Charge because the Templar itself is actually kind of a really slow character. So I'll usually use this Toppling Charge, to get the stun off and also to move around on the battlefield, moving from enemy to enemy. For PvP, for instance, if there's like 2 or 3 guys, I'll use this sometimes. Blazing Shield's a pretty good one. It's one of those wards. It's not as effective as like the Sorcerer's Ward, because the Sorcerer's Ward probably has like more hit points to it. It also lasts like 20 seconds compared to only 6 seconds. But the nice thing about Blazing Shield is that once it goes away, it 53% of the damage that it absorbed goes back to nearby enemies. So that's really the only reason why I put it on. I don't really, I guess, yeah, I put it on to absorb damage, but it's mainly for that damage back at an enemy, because the Sun Shield itself doesn't really last too long when it's taking hits, but that damage, of course, is pretty nice to shoot back at an enemy. The passives here increase my critical strike damage. That's always nice. Against blocking targets, meh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, this one is pretty nice actually. When I'm up close or enemies are on top of me and this actually pops off, that's more 2,442 magic damage each time I hit an enemy with the Atrix Spear ability. That's actually pretty nice. That's more damage I get to spit out. And of course increase weapon damage and spell resistance. I'll talk about more about my spell resistance later. But yeah, weapon damage to, of course, hit harder with my weapons, I guess, if I'm using them. But weapon damage, weirdly enough, also applies to spell damage, like dual wielding, which I'll show later. It's interesting. Dawn's Wrath, I actually do like this one a lot. Vampire's Bane, of course, hitting some flame damage in PvP. That's good against vampires. Reducing movement speed, that's also really nice in PvP because it's annoying as hell when you're really slow. And of course, using it gives you more spell critical. That, that's pretty nice. Dark Flare, this one's nice. Yeah, this one hits pretty hard actually. 7k damage, and also reduce the effectiveness of healing by 30%. That's really nice against people in PvP or any NPC that does do any type of healing. That reduces the healing, so they're easier to kill. Also gives you Empower for increasing the damage of your next attack. Sorry, by 20%. That's hella awesome. And stacking that with so like hitting off Vampire's Bane for the spell critical, doing Dark Flare, and then hitting Radiant Oppression. That's crazy damage, especially if they're low. Yeah, they're low health. That's 300% more damage with Radiant Oppression. This ability probably gonna get nerfed, but this ability is really awesome against people with low health. Purifying Light, I use this on my PvE DPS build. I don't really use this in PvP. It's pretty nice. You put it on a boss, and everyone attacking that boss, it'll store up damage and then release it after 6 seconds with 36% increase. That's awesome. The healing itself, the healing circle, it's really small. That's not too crazy. I only picked that one because the other version was a stamina version, and I'm a Magicka Templar, so yeah, that's why I picked that. Enduring Rays, that's nice for Radiant Oppression. Makes it last longer, I'm pretty sure. Prism is nice. Getting more ultimate means we can pop off, well, I'll show the ultimates that I use later, but we can pop off more ultimates. Illuminate, which is hella nice. That's 5% more spell damage when I use any of my Dawn's Wrath abilities. That, for me and my allies, so we're all going to hit harder in PvP or PvE or whatever. It's a really nice passive. And of course, restoring spirit, you know, magicka, stamina, ultimate cost reduced. That's always nice to have. Restoring light. Now I use this stuff, these spells when I'm playing a healer role, which is always PvE. You don't really see me using these in PvP, because healing in PvP is not as effective as it is in PvE. It's just not as easy. Breath of Life, of course, this is like your bread and butter. I'm sure any healer will tell you that, because this thing is just amazing. It's spammable. It heals for a lot. It heals up to 2 other people if you get the morph. This morph, Breath of Life, it's beautiful. Lingering Ritual, yeah, this is a really strong heal, and I did get the morph to where it does more heal over a period of 8 seconds, which is nice. And then initial healing to use increased by 30%. Yeah, that's cool. But I do like this heal a lot. The only problem though, it's a 2-second cast time. So in that 2 seconds while you're charging up, anything could happen, especially if you're doing a vet dungeon. Someone could get one-shotted, and that is no bueno. So you gotta be careful when you're using that one. Purifying Ritual, I use this mostly for PvP because it cleanses up to 5 harmful effects on yourself. That's nice, because Nightblades, I always notice Nightblades dot the hell out of me. So I usually use that to clear it off, and it also works on your allies too, which is nice for being a supportive kind of thing. Channeled Focus, that gives you more spell resistance and armor, which is, you know, nice to have. I usually use this in PvE when I'm healing, and I don't really use it for the spell resistance or armor. I mainly use it for that magicka recovery, and I will explain why later, but yeah, that's why I mainly use it. Also, you know, of course, the passives here are good. Healing, extra healing, of course, for the wounds, that's nice. More powerful healing with restoring light abilities, of course you want that. Some nice little bonuses here. And resurrection speed's pretty nice, and then allies come back with all their health. That's, you know, that's pretty great. And then the chance to get a soul gem after each resurrection by 50%, that's, you know, that's pretty awesome too. Dual wielding, I do this on my you know, the 2 bars. I do this on my 1 bar to hit out that awesome spell damage, and of course I get increases offhand weapon damage. I don't know if that actually affects the spell damage, but I YOLO'd it and put it in anyways. 8% damage bonus when attacked or stunned, or what? Yeah, I guess if you like break CC, then that applies too. I don't really know. I haven't really tested it, but it sounded nice, so I got it. And of course, this one, this passive is nice because each sword you have, which of course I use swords for dual wielding, increases your weapon attacks by 1.5%. That also applies to your spell damage too, for some reason. For some reason, I don't know why. Cypher said it did. I tested it. He was right. So yeah. I don't really use Destruction Staff. Restoration Staff. Okay, so the main thing I use is this Healing Ward, and that's kind of like in PvP or even in PvE, this is like my oh shit ward. So if I have low health, I pop this off on me, giving me ward for 4K. This is probably going to be more if I had it on my dual wielding bar, but 4K is good enough. Increase the ward strength by up to 300% depending on the target's wounds. Yeah, that's also really nice. And then when it expires, it heals you for 1,864, and then I think the rest when it depletes. Yeah, so obviously that's pretty nice to keep yourself alive when you're in that oh shit stage. Okay, Essence Drain, I got this because I stack that with Cycle of Life and PvE when I'm running low on magicka, because my magicka regen is shit. I'll show you why it's shit. But yeah, I'll charge that up so I can get my sorry about that. So I can get my my magicka back, as well as healing my allies while I'm doing it for, you know, when I'm playing the healer role. So that's always nice. Restoration Expert, increase healing by 15% with allies under 30% health. I think I got that because it makes the ward more powerful. I'm also debating on getting my mutagen back and replacing it with my my resto ward when I'm doing healing in dungeons. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about it though. Of course, getting more magicka when you block a spell, that's nice to keep your sustain up. And increased healing with restoration staffs. Of course, you want that if you're playing the healer role. Light armor. Okay, harness magicka is amazing. This helps keeps my sustain up when I have shit regen. So I'll like pop this up before battle, and yeah, that's absorbed up to like 9k spell damage. That's awesome. And then restored for 13 magicka plus 6% for each light armor equipped. My bonus is 30% because I'm wearing 5 light. So yeah, that's gonna keep my sustain up, and it's beautiful. And then of course all these other passives to help with, you know, magicka, spell resistance, spell critical, spell penetration. All these little bonuses are nice. Medium armor, I have one medium armor, the Undaunted stuff, but I'll go into my armor later. Or the Engine Guardian, sorry. But yeah, I'll go into that later. Windwalker, of course, more stamina recovery. I went ahead and got that, you know, what the hell, why not? Heavy armor is pretty nice. You get more armor to keep yourself alive more. Health recovery is okay, but yeah, that's why I got it. The magicka and stamina, each time you're hit, you restore some. Yeah, for each heavy armor equipped, I only have one, so 48. That's more magicka and stamina I get back, so to help with sustainability. Juggernaut, increase max health, yeah, obviously, and then increase healing received, that's also pretty nice. But yeah, it's not really anything important in there. Okay, so Fighter's Guild, obviously, increased weapon and spell damage when attacking Danger Undead. This, I'm pretty sure this does apply to vampires and werewolves, so that helps in PvP, and also giving me more ultimate. Okay, so Inner Light, I put this on my healing, bar. I'll show you that when I actually show all three setups that I use. Gives you more spell critical, which is of course really nice to hit those crit heals. And also increases your max magicka, which, you know, the more magicka you have, the more powerful your healing is. So that's pretty nice. Structured Entropy, I put that on my my two other setups I'll show you. I don't use it for like the damage or like the healing, but I use it for major sorcery, increasing your spell damage by 20%. And I'm pretty sure that applies for like 14.4 seconds. Yeah, that is beautiful. That is why I have it. You know, enough said. That's why I have it. Obviously, I get some of these passives to help with my magicka. That's pretty much all that's there for. Undaunted, okay, Undaunted Metal. That's all you need, Undaunted Metal. Put 2 into that, you get 6% bonus if you have like, yeah, heavy, medium, and light equipped. 6% bonus to all your stats, stamina, magicka, health. That's beautiful. Who wouldn't want that? That's beautiful. Okay, so for this, I'm actually trying to get Barrier for my ultimate, which I'll explain my ultimates a little bit later, but that is a 21k shield, and I think it's even more if it's on my dual wielding thing. Actually, let's try that. Let's try switching to dual wielding and look at it. Yeah, 23k shield, dude, that is beautiful. I want that. That's good for trials, pretty good for PvP. I mean, yeah, I definitely want that. Breton, I'm a Breton, so I obviously have my my more spell resistance, max magicka, and reduced magicka cost. That's useful because of my magicka setup, and those are just crafting stuff. You don't have to worry too much about that. The ultimates that I mainly use, I use Empowering Sweep. I did use Dawnbreaker. I did like it, but the only thing was the cone, like the cone range. I always missed, even though I was point blank, and it kind of upset me. So I got Adric Spear instead. It hits decent, and it's also cheaper, at least on my guy. It's 72 compared to 96 on my guy. I don't know if that's cheaper or how that's different on whatever character you're playing. But yeah, I mean it hits decent. I like the damage of it, but I mainly use it for reduces damage dealt by 15% and then an additional 4% for each enemy hit. So if I'm being like ganked up on and I use this, it's going to be harder to kill me, even for like a mage character. So that's mainly why I use it. Plus it's 72 ultimate. That is hella spammable. I don't use Nova. I'm thinking about trying it out again. No one really uses my synergy, so I don't really use Nova too much. Remembrance, obviously a very good heal. I use this for healing. Well, duh, because it's a heal. But yeah, that's a shit ton. Well, 5k every second for 4 seconds is pretty nice. Reduced damage dealt by 23%. That is amazing. That is the way better ultimate compared to the other one, which is like 2 extra seconds. No, I'd rather have my reduced damage. Those are the 2 main ultimates I use. I got my vampirism cured because if I'm gonna do the other like Bet Dragonstar and City of Ash, yeah, I can't be a vampire. I will die too much, especially trying to play a healer role. So I got my vampirism cured. If you have vampirism, the bats, the Clouding Swarm bats that make you go invisible, that is amazing for PvP. You just can't get touched when you have that on. It's awesome. I would recommend using that, which I did use it in my PvP video. But yeah, that's pretty much the skills. Let's talk about my gear. Okay, so Thorax Pack Swords, obviously want that because I get more spell damage. I have a Magnus Staff. I just have that for now until I find some other staff. My head, Engine Guardian mask, and Engine Guardian shoulders. I have... Okay, yeah, sorry about that. That clip actually ended pretty short. My PS4 only lets me do like 15 minutes each clip, so I'm gonna have to put multiple clips together. Let's see, what was I saying? Yeah, so as I was saying with my armor, I use the Engine Guardian head and shoulders. My head's medium, my shoulders are heavy. That's just the luck I ended up with farming the stuff. So obviously I use that for my Dwemer because I can get my sustain. I get 1,120, and I'm pretty sure it changes. No, okay, it's the same. It's the same. So yeah, I get that for either health, stamina, or magicka. Obviously I want the magicka back, but in PvP either one helps out. But for PvE, I want that magicka, and sometimes I get mad because I don't get my magicka. I'll get like health when I'm at full health and I need magicka back. But yeah, but still, Engine Guardian, still pretty good, Robe of Adroitness, I got the robe when I farmed it, so I used that instead of any other piece. And I also have the necklace that I bought at Vet 10, I still don't have my Vet 12 version. But I use those two pieces for, you know, the extra spell damage. My waist, hands, legs, and feet, they're all martial knowledge. Unfortunately, I don't have V14 martial knowledge, I have only V13 and V12. But obviously I use that to get a little bit more magicka and the spell damage. So in case you haven't noticed yet, all my armor pieces are mainly focused for spell damage. Okay, the rings, I only have one of the Cyrodiil Lights rings. I need to get the other one, which I'm currently working on. But I'm going to get both and obviously get that extra spell damage. Yeah, so that's my gear. My champion points. Okay, so for the thief part, I'm trying to get 10 into Arcanus so I can get this, you know, bonus thing, 10% chance to get yield. I don't know if that's amazing, but I'm gonna try to get it. Magicka recovery to help my sustain, obviously, and then of course over here, reduce magicka cost of spells. That's always nice. More spammable spells, yeah, especially more spammable heals. You can't go wrong with that. For the mage part, of course, I use Elfborn and Blessed. More healing, more powerful healing. You know, why wouldn't I get that as a Templar heal? I also get, I really don't know how to pronounce that, Thaumaturge, I guess. I got that to increase my magic damage, so when I'm playing like a DPS role with my Templar, when we have plenty of healers or whatever, or even for PvP doing damage, increasing, because some of my abilities, I know some of them do magic damage, so increasing the strength of those is very helpful. For the warrior part, I got 5 in Hardy and 5 in Elemental Defender, just so I could get the spell absorption. Of course, these help with my survivability, but the spell absorption to help with my sustain, so I can get 3k magicka back when I take, you know, any kind of elemental damage. It looks like equivalent to 30% of my health. Yeah. So I mean, if I get hit, I can get magicka back. That's why I got it. That's nice for sustain. And then for the Lord, I'm working on making my my wards stronger. Yeah, that's why I have that. So I mean, wards are gonna I think they're getting nerfed in the next patch, as well as all damage, if I'm right. I don't know if I'm completely right about that, but yeah. So I might end up changing that and putting that into more like Party and Elemental Defender for, you know, more survivability. But we'll see what happens. I might do an update video if anything dramatic changes. But yeah, those are where my champion points are, and I don't have very many. I have like 80 something. Yes, I haven't been farming champion points too much. I do believe that is all. Oh, my character. Let me show you my character. So, okay, this is my staff with my staff stats. I think they're pretty much the same as when I switch over to dual wield. Obviously, my magic recovery 787. That is garbage recovery. But you know, I didn't get any armor pieces to give me more recovery because I want that spell damage, because more spell damage and more maximum magicka equals stronger heals. My points I put 25 into health to give me that extra survivability, because as a healer you can still, you know, you still don't want to get one-shotted in dungeons, especially, and even in PvP, like having extra health helps. Of course, the rest goes into magicka, so I can get my maximum magicka increased, and then I can, you know, have my spells hit harder with more magicka, as well as that spell damage. So I'm hitting pretty hard right now. I don't have my max spell damage, which I'm trying to work on. I didn't put in any of the stamina because I'm not a stamina-based character. I still do dodge rolls and stuff, but it's not my primary thing to do. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention about the skills, actually two things I forgot to mention. Alchemy, I put that in there to help my friend get ingredients so he can make potions, but mechanical use, that is pretty nice, especially because as this build, even when you have like those sustain stuff that I showed you, like the Dwemer and then the champion points, even though you still have those, you still end up running out of magicka, even with channeled focus. That's why I have that for the more sustain. So I get medical use, so I can, when my potions, use my magical potions, and give me magicka recovery for whatever amount of seconds. That'll make it last longer, so I can have more recovery. As well as, I also, you know, of course, eat food. Most of the time, though, I do put on like max magicka, stamina, health food. I do put on recovery and PvP, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do, because I obviously need to keep my magicka up as much as possible to, you know, in case I get ganked by players. So that's pretty much my setup. I'm going to show you what I meant when I said like the 3 different ways I use this character. So I'm going to do individual clips of me doing those setups. So okay, something I realized I messed up on, this ruffian thing. It doesn't happen, I don't think it happens when you're CC'd. It says gives you an 8% damage bonus when attacking a stunned, immobilized, disoriented, or silent enemy. Okay, so first setup that I have is my healing one that I'll show you. Okay, so what I was saying, as you can see on my 2 bars, I have Resto Ward, Entropy, Inner Light, Harness Magicka, Sun Shield, and then I just have my Empowering Sweep ultimate there. That's going to get replaced with barriers and such when I do get those. As I was saying with the Resto Ward, I do believe I'm going to replace that part with regeneration. Oh, actually, I messed something up. I don't use Sun Shield on my healing bar. I forgot to take that off. I use instead Radiant Oppression on that part. And the reason why I use Radiant Oppression is because when I'm healing and the boss, like we're fighting a boss per se, and he's at low health, and everyone's health is up and good, I can provide that extra, you know, finisher to help kill the boss quicker in case, you know, even for oh shit situations, like there have been instances where like, let's say 2 of my friends went down and the boss is almost dead, then I'll be like, okay, time to, you know, hit that last finisher off and kill the boss. So yeah, that's nice. My back bar, I have obviously Remembrance, Channeled Focus. I'll place that down to keep my magicka regen up. That's pretty much the only reason why I have it. I'll also keep my block up in case I block, you know, any kind of spells to get more sustain. Breath of Life, I'll use that. There's my little Ancient Guardian that'll pop up. He's giving me stamina right now. And there's this another player. Hello there. And then, of course, Lingering Ritual. That takes like 2 seconds to charge, but that shoots out all around me, giving a really strong heal. So if anyone's like grouped up fighting the boss, you know, I'll just jump right in, hold this down, pop it, hit it off, run off, Channeled Focus, you know, Breath of Life. Usually that keeps people alive just doing that. I have Purifying Ritual. I don't really use it too much for PvE. That might get replaced with something else. I'm still trying to figure out all that I want on the healing bar, but so far this is what I have. You know, it's still extra healing and then Purify for people to use to, you know, get another heal. So it's pretty nice. Remembrance, obviously that, you know, that is a hella powerful heal. Love it. So yeah, and then of course my my Mage Light to give me oh, the glowing arms thing. Oh yeah, that's what I forgot in my skills. Mage Light. Okay, I don't have Mage's Guild 10 unfortunately. I only have 9. But okay, so right now I have a 50% chance of getting Empower, increasing the damage of your next attack by 20%, as long as it's activated within 5 seconds. Obviously, if I pop that off every time I, you know, use Entropy, or I use my Mage Light, that's 20%, you know, for a more powerful heal. And of course I'll have Entropy on to give me that 20%. I don't know if those two 20% stack. I'm not entirely sure about that, but I'll figure that out, and if they don't, I might have to change something up. I'm not sure what. But yeah, I'll pop Entropy up, at least get the guaranteed 20% extra damage, and then of course the heals for that whatever amount of time will be that much stronger. So yeah, that's my first setup. That's the healing setup that I use. So I'll go ahead and start. Okay, so this is the second setup that I have, which is my PvE setup. And I have Sun Shield, of course, and Harness Magicka to keep myself defended in case, you know, say our healer went down and I need to defend myself. Or, you know, I just feel like jumping in a giant group and letting Blazing Shield, you know, deplete and do damage. I have Entropy, of course, that I keep. Resto Ward in case I do go down, like I have low health and my healer is not available, so I'll just be like, oh shit, okay, Resto Ward. Puncturing Strikes, I use that, of course, when I'm up close, and they do heal, which it's not too much healing, but it's effective enough, and it's a nice sort of AoE kind of thing. Dark Flare, of course, Purifying Light, for, well, as I said before, as the store damage, Vampire's Bane, and Radiant Oppression. So let's see if we can find some enemies, and I'll test you, or show you, not test it out, show you how I do it. Okay, so let's say this guy's a boss, so we'll hit him with, we'll hit him with Entropy, get that Purifying Light up, Dark Flare, Vampire's Bane, Radiant Oppression, that sort of stuff, you know. If we're up closer, let's say there's a group over there, stop the charge, you know, get my Piercing Strikes up, or whatever they're doing damage, okay, so let's get our wards up, running well Magicka, charge up. Down, charge up, yeah, so that sort of thing. And as you can see, my Magicka recovery is really bad. So the potions help, you know, whatever food helps, you know, charging up with my staff to, you know, restore Magicka. Every little bit of that helps, since I'm, you know, focusing on spell damage and trying to hit as powerful of attacks or heals that I can. So that's pretty much my PvE setup. I'll go ahead and show you my PvP setup, because there's literally only one thing that I change. And that is literally, I go into Restoring Light, and I change out Purifying Light for Purifying Ritual. And of course I do this for when I've said before, as like I'll get dotted up. So I have a lot of dots on me, I'll pop that off and it'll clear them. And that's pretty much the only real difference I use in PvP. I'm going to go ahead and show you Empowering Sweep and how that works. So that's up literally like a circle like that. And I hit 3 targets, so that's 15% plus 4% for each enemy that I hit, and that glowing thing that was shooting out was one of the passives that does the 2k damage when I'm up close that I was talking about. Yeah, so that's pretty much my setup that I use. Something really too special about it. I mean, I try to maximize as much effectiveness as I could with the Templar, being healer and DPS. That's pretty much what I got so far. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions on what I should change or what I should try, you know, feel free to tell me. And we'll go back to the other area and I'll give my opinions on the Templar. Yeah, so I mean, the Templar class as a whole, I mean, it's a good class. I like it. At least Magicka Templar, I should say. I haven't played Stamina Templar, so I can't say much about that. I have heard that if you do, instead of puncturing sweeps like I have on my back bar here, which does this, if you get biting jabs instead, and you're, you know, focused on stamina more, then it hits hella hard. But I've also heard that Stamina Templar is also pretty squishy when you do it like that, unless you're wearing heavy armor or something. I don't know how you'd make your Stamina Templar. But I mean, the Magicka Templar, I like it. At least my guy, I like him. You know, he's pretty good DPS, pretty good in PvP. I'm sure there are better, like other classes are better suited for PvP. Templar is good. PvE, obviously, Templar, in my opinion, hands down, is the best healer. That's the class I would play, you know, obviously, for if you want to be a pure healer. As far as DPS go, if you're looking more for like a Magicka build, like a more Magicka DPS kind of character, I wouldn't play Templar. I do believe like a High Elf Sorcerer or some kind of Nightblade would probably be a better option for DPS. But as far as healing is concerned, Templar hands down. So those are my opinions. Also, the thing with the Templar is the Templars are pretty slow, as I've said. I have to use toppling charge in order to really move around pretty quickly. Other classes like Sorcerers and Nightblades would be faster. Dragonites, I don't know too much about. I haven't really played too much with a Dragonite, but I'm sure they're pretty effective too. So that's pretty much my opinion on the Templar. I like it. Templar is a good class. I do like Templar, and this is Gandalf here, in case you were wondering why he looks like this. This is my Gandalf the Healer character. But yeah, the next character I will be playing is a Nightblade, and I'll be able to... might do a video on that, I don't know. We'll see how good he is. But yeah, so thank you for watching, and any suggestions, like I've said before, please feel free to tell me to make my Templar more effective. I do want to hear them. So Goodbye everyone, and take care.